Hello, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America. And today we are joined here in the studio by the wonderful Metropolitan Opera soprano, Alyson Cambridge. She's going to start the show by singing for us, Habanera from Carmen, and she's accompanied by Michael Finley.
Quand je vous aimerai, ma foi, je ne sais pas, peut-être jamais, peut-être demain, mais pas aujourd'hui, c'est certain. Et c'est bien on va qu'on l'appelle, c'est lui qu'on vient déguiser. Et rien n'est fait, mais nos sourires, la parle bien, l'autre se dit. Et c'est l'autre que je préfère, il n'a rien dit, mais il me plaît. Il n'a jamais, jamais commis de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Et je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, si je t'aime, prends garde.
Alyson, thanks so much. That was just wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
I love your voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us on Black America.
Thank you for having me.
I was listening to you this morning, your new CD. Do they still call them CDs?
Yes.
Yes, sort of.
Album, yeah.
Your album, Sisters in Song, the Flower Song, which is you're doing duets with a very good friend of yours, as it turns out.
Yes, indeed. Nicole Cabell, fellow soprano. Yes, we started in this business together and always had the dream of doing a project like this.
Well, I want you to know that I was listening. I only, how you listen to it over and over and over again, the Flower Duet, is just magnificent.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you. But Metropolitan Opera, the Washington National Opera Company, all over the world, an international star. And not only that, but you're on Broadway, doing a Rocktopia.
Rocktopia, yes. We had a 6-week run on Broadway, and we're getting ready to go on tour, actually, in a couple of weeks.
I know. I was looking at your schedule on your website. It's AlysonCambridge.com. You can follow her around the country. But talk to us a little bit about Carmen.
Carmen is typically sung by a mezzo-soprano, and I am what's considered a full lyric or spinto soprano. And so I tend to sing things that are a bit higher, things like Madama Butterfly or Mimi in La Boheme. But even though Carmen sits a little bit lower, it just it suits me well, and so I can't wait to tackle her.
That's great. I just saw Carmen the play with Anika Nani Rose.
Oh yes, Carmen Jones.
Carmen
right?
Jones, right. And it seems to me that you should be doing that.
Well, that's on my bucket list, because
Is it?
Of course the music of Carmen Jones is Bizet's music as
Sure,
well,
of
just
course.
with new English words, and so yes, that's on my bucket list.
Yes, right. Well, since you're doing the Broadway, so what is that like when you do an opera? You're not doing it 8 nights or 8 days or matinees, nights,
right?
Everything.
It was quite an adjustment, and when people ask me that, I tell them I was like an athlete. honestly, being a singer is being an athlete. But to train for Broadway, I did a special training program. I made sure that I sang every single day for an hour and a half to the extremes of my range. Because in Rocktopia, I sing a range of music from Handel to Puccini to rock things, Led Zeppelin. And I had to have such an extraordinary range for Rocktopia, hitting high Ds, 4 of them every single day. And to be consistent, I just had to go into training. And it was funny because the producers admitted to me about halfway through the run, people started getting sick and having to cancel shows, and understudies were going on.
It's tough. It's
rigorous. And I was the only one that did not have to cancel a show. And the producer said to me, "Alyson, you're our opera girl. We thought you were going to be the first one to drop because you're not used to this type of a schedule."
Right.
But somehow I made it through, and I had a blast the entire time.
But did I read correctly that you really were an athlete? You know,
yes. I grew up playing soccer, and I'm very much now still an avid runner, and I lift weights, and so being physically fit is extremely important to me, and it makes everything you do on stage easier.
Sure.
You know, nowadays, modern opera productions, we are asked to do all sorts of crazy things on stage, very athletic things. So staying fit helps with that.
Right. So we always ask our guests to place themselves in Black America. And how do you place yourself there? Arlington, Virginia? Is that where you grew up?
Yes,
right?
Grew up in Arlington, Virginia, suburbs of Washington, D.C., went to high school in D.C. proper. You know, it's an interesting experience. First of all, living in D.C. And in Arlington, it's a very extremely diverse community. I think, you know, I had an interesting upbringing because my father is Guyanese, and that he was born and raised there, and instilled a lot of, both my grandmothers, I should say, instilled a lot of their traditions from growing up in me. And we would spend actually every summer in Barbados. So that's sort of my second home.
Sure.
And so I have a real strong connection to the Caribbean community.
Mm-hmm. And you're being honored too. They're always honoring you.
Oh.
Right.
Yes. So the Caribbean Heritage Awards are honoring me. I'll be their first opera singer, and they're honoring me in mid-November, which is just wonderful.
That's wonderful. Congratulations
thank you.
for that. So
Thank
it's
you.
a mixed Caribbean, African American.
My father is Caribbean, Guyanese, and Ghanaian, and my mother is actually Danish and Norwegian. Yes, so very, very multicultural.
You've got the world there. It's a good thing since you're traveling the world.
Indeed.
So we were talking a little bit earlier before the show began about how you realized that you had this voice, because that's always the question. I mean, many kids love to just sing and imitate opera, but how did you know that you actually had the real thing?
Yeah, I mean, it did start out like that. Me imitating singers that I heard on the radio, and it ranged from Madonna to Whitney Houston to, if I heard, you know, a recording of Leontine Price, I would just imitate what I heard. And I really did it as a joke to entertain my friends. And a friend of my mother's was over at the house, and I was doing my opera voice. And she said, "You know, Alyson, I know you're doing this as a joke, but it's not half bad. You actually have a voice." I said, "Really?" And she said, "I think you should take voice lessons." And I was only 12 years old. And I went to my very first voice lesson, and the teacher, she said, "Okay, well, I hear you do." No, first she said, "What type of music do you listen to?" I named some pop singers. "Okay, well, let's hear this opera voice that you do." She sort of rolled her eyes, and I said, "Okay." And I'd been a pianist, and so I knew scales and whatnot.
Right.
So I sang a scale in my opera voice. She said, I'm sorry, how old are you?" I said, "I'm 12.
Right.
She goes, "My dear, you are not going to be singing like Whitney Houston or Madonna. I'm going to train you classically." And I said, "Really?" But I didn't really want to be an opera singer.
Did you even like opera at that point?
I enjoyed it. Of course I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all classical music because I'd grown up playing the piano and whatnot. But I didn't think it was cool. And so I took voice lessons, and I really kept it a secret. I hid it from my classmates and friends for quite some time. And then in high school, I began sharing. And of course, I did the high school musicals and stuff like that. But I thought it was much cooler just to play sports. And then finally my choir teacher said, Alyson, I want you to do a solo operatically for the entire high school. And I thought, I'm going to get booed off the stage. Didn't happen. Uproarious applause. They just went nuts. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay. I guess maybe it is cool to be an opera singer.
So what is that training like when this woman says, I'm going to train you? Is that every day, or what was it like?
So, I mean, in general, vocal training is quite different than instrumental training. For example, when I was playing the piano, I should have been practicing up to 2 to 3 hours a day.
Every day.
Physically, you can't do that with your voice because, your
Sure.
voice, it's a muscle, it's an instrument, and so you have to take care. And it was really only maybe 30 to 45 minutes that I would do a day. I would have 45-minute lessons once a week with my teacher. And then just, light warm-ups, lip trills, and, singing the early Italian songs. And I continued that throughout. But there was so much of me, and I'll be honest, that came very naturally when I was younger. And I didn't have to practice, and I just had a voice that was very mature.
So that's the gift. That's that you were gifted.
Yes, but then to parlay that into an actual career is something else.
Well, you're talking how long now? 15?
17 years.
17 years?
17
That
years.
is amazing, right?
Yeah, it is. I really learned that in college. I thought, okay, now I've really got to practice. And if I want to be the leads in the opera, I mean, I've got to put in the hard work. And then it was right after college. I mean, I'd started my graduate work studies at the Curtis Institute.
Right.
And halfway through that first year, I won the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions. The next year, I was at the Met.
Just like that.
It was
Incredible, incredible, just
wonderful.
like that. Well, I've read some of your reviews, which are always smashing,
Oh.
but sometimes a little sexist because they comment on your beauty and your skinniness as opposed to the traditional, I guess we've always come to understand. So
Yes.
how do you deal with that in your career? When you show up as this beautiful slim thing and this voice comes out.
Am
I being sexist now?
No, I will honestly say it has been a unique challenge.
Yes.
When I got into this business, the industry was changing, and we were being told by directors, heads of opera companies, that it is no longer acceptable to be of a certain size. With the start of the HD broadcasts, now that operas are going to be in movie theaters, there was more attention and pressure being put on artists to maintain a certain physical physique or to get to that. I was always fit and slim, so that wasn't necessarily something that I had to worry about. But I will say there was a bit of an expectation that perhaps my voice wouldn't or couldn't be so big or whatever because of my physical stature. Right. And then also perhaps not being taken seriously. So when people do make comments about your looks, then the assumption is, oh, well, she looks pretty, but maybe the voice isn't so great.
So it has been a factor.
Yes.
Sure. But because when I saw that, I said, it says, one of the reviews was something like, better, maybe she would be fit for the catwalk,
Yes, yes.
Oh, you remember that
I
review.
remember. And then I will say there have been certain productions or times that I've been hired because of the way I look. It is an asset to the production. I will say, though, that early on in my career, I think the question that I was asked the most when doing interviews, for example, if I was going to be Mimi in La Bohème, reviewers would ask, so, what's it like being a black Mimi? Well, isn't Mimi just Mimi?
Right.
Because often I was the only person of color in a cast.
And has it really changed dramatically since then? In the 17 years, what have you seen?
I will say that it has changed. I've made strategic career moves and choices so as not to be pigeonholed, as not to be seen as but a black singer. So early in my career, I was often offered Porgy and Bess, the role of Bess.
Sure.
Bess is a spinto role, not at all appropriate for a 23 or 24-year-old to be singing. So I said no. And I knew that I was being asked because I was a black woman and because I looked a certain way, not because my voice was right for it. And my managers told me, no, sing Clara, the secondary role, you get the wonderful aria, you get to sing Summertime, great. But make sure that the shows that you are doing are not just in that. Make sure you're singing your Mozart, doing your Puccini, and all the more traditional white operas. And so I did that. And once I felt like I had gotten to a place where people knew me as Alyson Cambridge, not as another black soprano, then I said, okay, yes, now it's time. Now I can sing Bess. Now I can sing Bess and Porgy and Bess, and it doesn't mean it's the only role that I'm going to be offered or the only role that I'm going to sing.
Well, you have some terrific women who have blazed this trail before you, Kathleen Battle and Jessie Norman. And in fact, I was reading that this new CD that you have, Sisters in Song, you took inspiration from that. You have the flower duet, but you also have spirituals.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you took from what their careers were like and what they gave to the music world.
I was telling this story to somebody the other day. I'm not sure where I was, but Kathleen Battle was singing at the Kennedy Center. I think I must have been in college. And my parents got tickets to go see her in concert. And my father was not a huge opera lover at this point. He is now.
Yes,
huge,
of course.
and my biggest fan, that's for sure.
Of course.
But they got tickets to go see Kathleen Battle, and I came home for whatever it was, spring break or something. And my father, he just said, wow, wow. And he said, in his accent, he says, Alyson, it's like she was singing to me, right to me. And my dad, who, again, not an opera fan, just fell in love and thought, she was just the greatest thing ever. And she was definitely one of my inspirations. And I just thought, gosh, if I can make that impact on somebody as a performer, as an artist someday, I would love to be able to do that.
Right. And I know Jessie, and I've asked her many times, when? I mean, like where did this voice come from? How did you know you had it? And Jessie is just such an incredible inspiration.
She is amazing. I had the pleasure of being a backup singer to her at the Kennedy Center Honors one year. I sang with a gospel choir, and my choir director from in high school, he was with his church and said, oh, Alyson, we need a soprano to come in and sing the high C at the end of this number. I don't have any girls in my choir that can hit the note. Can you come and sing with us? And Ms. Norman was singing, and it was just glorious. And then just a few years ago, actually 2015, I hosted the Marian Anderson 75th anniversary special on BET. Right. And Ms. Norman was the host of the actual gala concert, but I was hosting the documentary. And they said, Alyson, you've now interviewed everybody. We do not have an interview yet from Ms. Norman, and we've got to get it. But she's not letting any press in her dressing room, nothing. So it's the end of the concert, and they go and they knock on her door and say, Ms. Norman, we'd really love to get an interview. Alyson Cambridge would like to interview you. Is she the one that sang Pace Pace?
It sounds just like her. Just like her.
And they said, yes. She goes, yes, I will speak with her.
And Jessie doesn't speak with everybody, for
sure.
No,
she doesn't.
For sure. That's
she paid me a compliment, and I'll tell you, I just never forgot it.
So you have a big concert coming up right after Thanksgiving.
I do.
Yeah?
Yes, with Michael Fennelly, who just accompanied me.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, it's part of the Athena Music Foundation. They're sponsoring this concert for us. And because it does fall on the Sunday right after Thanksgiving, and it's sort of the kickoff into the holiday season, we are going to do a concert on the themes of thanks, giving, peace, and hope.
Fantastic. And I
Yes.
understand Michael says there may be some surprise guests too.
Indeed, yes,
And
yes.
that's November 25th
November
at
25th.
Carnegie Hall.
Yes, at the Wild Recital Hall at Carnegie.
Before we leave, I know that you do a lot of work and are so interested in getting people engaged in the opera.
Indeed.
Because many people feel it's just not for them.
Right.
They had probably the reaction that you had when you were a kid.
Exactly, exactly. So one of my missions is to get opera more popular again. It used to be, I mean, like going to the movies, go to the opera. It's not like that anymore. And so I think right now it's about exposing people who wouldn't otherwise be exposed to opera, so that there is that sort of shock and wow factor, and a cool factor as well.
Making opera cool.
Yes, truly. You know, one of the reasons why I just jumped at the chance to be a part of Rocktopia on Broadway is because it fuses rock music with opera. And there's no sort of watered downness to what I'm doing within Rocktopia. I'm singing full on opera. It just happens that then it'll get mashed up with an Elton John song or with an Aerosmith song or what have you. And what I found most interesting and exciting about being part of the show was when we would leave the stage door every night and there were fans lined up for autographs and whatnot. And it was a lot of people who I think came to see more of a rock show and then were surprised that they left enjoying the opera portion. So every night I would, oh, it's the opera lady, it's the opera girl, oh my gosh. And people saying, you know what? I'd never heard a classically trained operatic voice before. This made me want to now go see a full opera.
Yeah, I've been to several of the operas in the movie theater, and I actually love it because no matter where your seats are, so for instance, the opera can be very, very pricey.
Yes.
You know, like you can
Yes.
spend, well, hundreds of
Hundreds of dollars
on
yes.
a ticket. But if you see it in the movie theater, you've got the best shots ever.
Yes.
And you've done some of those.
Yes,
And
I've done.
So what's it like? Do you have to do anything differently when you're being taped like that? Or
No, so we always, there's a pre-tape. They do sort of a test run for the show before. And really the only thing that changes during the HD broadcast is our makeup is a little bit different because it is high def. So we don't have the stage makeup that's necessary for such a big opera house. So that gets toned down a little bit. And we're aware, they'll let us know, for example, when I did Thais with Renee Fleming and Tom Hampson, and I was playing, one of her sort of sidekicks. And
I love the way you throw the name. Yeah, oh, Renee. When I was singing with Renee Fleming.
I mean, again, one of my idols, and I have to say the fact. I mean, we're also involved in a charity together, Sing for Hope. Just one of the most wonderful colleagues, human beings, artists. Yes. But, you know, for that, the director would tell us, okay, Alyson, you know, Renee is crossing the stage at this point. During that camera pan, we're going to pick up on you. So they give us pointers and let us know when there will be a close-up on us or something like that.
So, but do you think that that's one of the barriers, of course, is the cost of hearing really good opera? So
Yes.
how do we break through that barrier?
Well, you know, there are a lot of smaller opera companies that are popping up and doing operas on locations. For example, On-Site Opera is a company that I've sung with. They did Gershwin's Blue Monday, which is sort of the predecessor to Porgy and Bess, 45-minute one-act opera, and we did it at the Cotton Club in Harlem.
Right. So,
and tickets were $25.
right.
I had more people come to see me in those 3 nights of shows at the Cotton Club than probably ever saw me at the Met, simply because of ticket prices. However, I think most opera companies are making sort of rush tickets or student tickets and discounts available. So that's a new thing that I think is hopefully helping.
Yeah, and you said the Sing for Hope. You know, you're engaged in all of that.
Yes, and Sing for Hope provides music, arts, dancing, singing to underserved communities. And so we go to schools, sing in hospitals. It really is a testament to the healing power of music. I did a recital at a hospital a couple summers ago, and I'll never forget, I was with one of my best friends, Ellie Dean, another wonderful soprano, and a man was wheeled out to listen to our concert, and he looked pained. he was obviously not doing well. And we started singing. It might have been Flower Duet. And you just saw this.
Yes, that's the way, and that's the way I am when I listen to you singing Flower Duet. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your contribution, for making everybody feel better. Carnegie Hall, November 25th.
Yes, indeed.
Alyson Cambridge, continued success.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you the next time. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America.